Hey everybody, it's Tara Bryan, and you are listening to the Course Building Secrets podcast. Whether you're a coach or a CEO, the success of your team and clients is based on your ability to deliver a consistent experience and guide them on the fastest path to results. This podcast will give you practical, real-life tips that you can use today to build your online experiences that get results and create raving fans. Why? So you can monetize your expertise and serve more people without adding more time or team to your business. If you're looking to uncover your $1 million framework, package it, and use it to scale, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. In this episode, I am going to talk about something that I was just talking to a colleague about yesterday, which is how do you want to show up in your building your online business? So often when people start off, unfortunately, they're given somewhat bad advice, right? They're given the advice that if you just package what you do, or you come up with something around your expertise that you want to package, that you can just turn it into a course, put it out there and run ads to it and sell it, and it's going to be great. And you don't need to really do a whole lot in order to make all of that happen and to be successful. And here's the reality is that rarely happens. And if it happens, it's because you already have an established audience, you've already built up demand, and you already have something else that's sort of the engine that's driving that level of success. And so most of the time when I'm working with my customers, it's okay, so do you want to create kind of that autopilot asset that goes out and just, runs in the background? Or is it something that you're trying to build a business around and you want to grow and scale it? You want it to be something that allows you to serve and help your people and also maximize your time. And most of the time, that's actually what people want, right? It's not so much you want to create something and not touch it and just put it out there and hope that people can successfully go through it. You want to create a good foundation. You want to create a business around it, which means looking beyond kind of the one thing and looking at the journey or experience that you are creating for somebody as they come into your world and as they continue to progress and move through the various programs and offers and different things that you have. And to do that, it's really looking beyond that one transaction. It's really looking beyond that one course or that one module or that one piece of information that you want to give to people. It's really about what is the problem that you're trying to help somebody solve and how do you help them achieve the goals that they have. And most of the time, that is not necessarily happening in one course or one program. It's happening sort of in levels or phases or progressions, however you want to think of it. And so when you think about that, it does require you to be more hands-on. It does require you to have additional options for people to engage and interact and participate in what you're offering. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. Most of the time when you have a business or you're creating a business, that's actually what you want to do, right? You want to create something that allows you to interact and engage and participate with the people that you're serving. Most of us don't like to just be completely hands-off with the people that we're serving. And so when I'm helping people, what I'm doing is I'm helping them see not only how do you create kind of that framework or foundation for how you help people, right? So the framework of how do you take somebody from where they are today to where you want them to go, and really put that into sort of a systematic process that allows you to, not only create a business around it, but also to be able to package it and maximize your time. And so what that looks like is that you're creating something online in a packaged way, a program, a course, or whatever, that actually is helping your customers get to a specific place. And it's allowing you to not repeat yourself 5 million times every single time you have a customer, right? And so you're really sort of dialing in the way that you are progressing somebody through a particular challenge, a particular problem, a particular thing that they're trying to learn to build a skill level. And then around that, you're creating an experience that helps them actually apply it, helps them actually do what you want them to do to get to success, right? And so sometimes that's in a one-on-one interaction. Sometimes that's in a group interaction. Sometimes it's in a live event. Sometimes it's in a virtual event. Sometimes it's in, a video, or it's in a response to something, or it's a personalized email. Whatever it is, you're thinking about the learner or your customer and how, like, the journey that they're going on and how they need to progress through something. Because usually learning isn't necessarily a straight line, right? Learning isn't you do this, you watch this thing and then magically it happens. There's a, watch this thing or learn this thing, then apply it, then get feedback and adjust, and then keep going, right? That's like just the beginning. When you give somebody, I don't like to call it information, but when you give somebody the sort of the teaching framework that you're giving them, either a model or a step-by-step or some way for them to sort of digest how to think, or examples of what to do, you have to give them that context, right? And then you put them in action as quickly as possible, because as you know, like if you think about it, you don't actually learn passively. You have to do something in order to like adjust and be able to really gain mastery. And so the faster you can get them to that place and then support them along the way, feedback, coaching, mentoring, just even being there for support, right? All of those things help them actually get to that transformation or that result that you are promising to get to them. And so that benefits the customer, your customer that you have. It also benefits you because you get to sort of stay engaged, but you get to stay engaged in a way that maximizes your time, and it allows you to sort of not take control. It's not necessarily the right word, but it allows you to, be able to sort of manage the work, manage the relationship, manage what's happening, because you've defined the steps that it takes along the way. Think about either if you've worked with someone or you have been in this position where you're sort of making stuff up as you go, right? It happens a lot when you're trying something new. When you hire a coach, when you hire a mentor, when you hire somebody who you're going into their program, you expect them to be able to guide you down a path. And honestly, you expect them to know what the path is and be able to define it so you can get there faster than trying to meander through it on your own. And so if you're the coach, if you're the mentor, if you're the teacher, however you want to identify, then your job is to create that clear path, to create that fast path for them so they don't have to meander, right? You're like a Google map, right? Where somebody's typing in the address of where they want to go from where they are right now, and they're going to go directly there, right? If you don't put your coordinates in a map, you just like say, I'm just going to go that direction. Sure, you're going to go to that direction, but how long is it going to take you to get there? You don't really know, because you don't know the roads. You don't know where the detours are. You don't know where you're going to get stuck. You don't know if you're going to end up on a dirt road, right? Like you don't know any of those things. That's your job as the mentor, is to give them that path. And then when they hit those detours, when they hit those dead ends, when they hit kind of places where they're getting tripped up, you're there to catch their fall and keep moving them forward. Because sometimes it's about having a question like, oh, I don't really understand this. But a lot of times it's like, well, I don't know if I can do this, or something is coming up that's in their way, maybe clarity or focus or something else. And so your job is to help them through that. So when you're creating a program, and I call those hybrid course experiences or program experiences, where you're doing both. You have a package program and you have some sort of live mentoring, coaching component to it. What that does is it brings both elements together and provides an experience or a journey for people so they can become successful faster, because you're helping them navigate. So there are options, right? Like you could choose to do an autopilot. You could, create a course and put it out there and have people consume it without you. You can create an experience like I've been talking about, or you can, create all sorts of other types of high touch programs, right? Like there's lots of different options. But the important thing to do is when you're starting, or if you kind of found yourself like in that place of wanting to scale, wanting to sort of leverage your time a little bit better, it's really looking at what experience you want to create for your people. And then how do you want to show up? What does that look like? So often people say, I just want to create an autopilot course. And then they get distracted, right? Because like they're not helping anybody anymore because it's already done and they don't have to do anything else. So they either keep fixing it or they work on another project, right? And so which defeats the purpose of what you've been doing up until that point to leverage your time. And so that's normal, right? Like that's what we all do. But it's really thinking about what you need as well. And most of the time it's like, if I just had all of these things dialed in, then I can show up. That's when people usually have the best experience. Just as a quick sidebar, if you are going to do an autopilot course, I'm going to tell you that there's a very specific way to create those that do actually provide value. And it's not just dumping in a bunch of information and videos and all the things and hoping that somebody can go through it. No, you're creating an automated experience for somebody where you're still doing all of the things. You're just doing them in a virtual, I call it virtual you, right? You're doing it as a virtual coach. And so you have to think about it that way. It's not just about dumping information in and putting it out there. It's about, if you're going to create an autopilot course, you need to orchestrate the experience that somebody has in an automated way. Totally different than just, throwing your iPhone up and recording your random thoughts about what the topic is that you want to teach. Not that you're doing that. I know you're not doing that. I'm not belittling what you've done or your course or whatever, but there's a very different, very strategic way to automate an experience for someone so they can become successful even when you're not there. One story I tell all the time, and I'll repeat it today as I'm talking about this, because it all kind of comes full circle, is a couple of years ago, I was at an event and somebody came up to me, one of my students came up to me and he's like, oh my gosh, what you taught me this morning was amazing. Like it totally changed everything. And I was able to go out and do the thing. And here are the results that I got. I don't remember exactly what the details were, but, and I looked at him and I'm like, I wasn't with you this morning. What are you talking about? And he's like, oh my gosh, of course you weren't with me this morning. I was watching your training on XYZ and that was such a game changer that it helped me take action in the way that I needed to take. And it was amazing. And I was like, oh, well, thanks. That was great. Like, thanks for the feedback. I appreciate that. Like the orchestrated experience that I had created was working and that was awesome. But the bigger thing that showed me is that he didn't really differentiate whether or not I was teaching him live at that moment or I was teaching him in a virtual environment. And that is the power, if you do this correctly, that your learners are each going to have. So not only do you feel awesome because you're able to help your people and serve them at the highest level, but you're able to do it in a virtual environment, which really is a game changer in terms of changing the way that you show up and help people. And so I challenge you to first consider like which kind of online business do you want to have, right? Do you want to have something that's more autopilot, that's running on its own? Do you want to have a hybrid experience? Or do you want to have a high touch experience? Is everything going to be done for you, right? When everything is done for you, it's awesome because you get to have really great relationships with your clients. but you max out, right? You are doing everything for your clients. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I love my clients dearly, but sometimes they take up a lot of my time, right? And so, think about, how do you want to show up? What does that look like? And then just know that each one of those has a very specific model in terms of how to help people actually engage and help people be successful. So that is my message for you today. And you just got a little bit of a look over the shoulder of this conversation I was having yesterday of like, how do you do that? How do you get people engaged? What does that look like? And how do you need to show up to make all that happen? So there you go. That is my course building tip for today, is really think through all of that before you determine like, oh, I'm just going to throw it out there and get ads, or I'm going to create a done for you, thing, or one-on-one, or whatever it is that you're trying to create. Think about both sides. Like, how do you create that experience, either live or virtual or automated virtual, right? Like, what does that look like? And then just know that there's a very specific model that makes all that happen, that helps your people be successful, even when you're not in front of them live. So there you go. That is my tip for today. If you're looking for more tips on how to make that happen or what that model is, I have lots of episodes on that. But reach out. Would love to have a conversation with you about that. If you're curious about what that looks like and why sort of the traditional outline information model that we all went through in the education system is not the best model when you're moving into an online environment. And is, in fact, not even the best model when you're in a live education environment, but that's for another day. But when you're moving online, it is not apples to apples. It is not like I just lecture and then I put it out there. It's not how it works. You're not going to gain traction. You're not going to help your people. And honestly, you're not going to be fulfilled or feel fulfilled in the business that you're creating. So there you go. That is my tip for you today.
Hey everybody, are you a business owner ready to streamline and scale your business? Imagine solving the biggest business challenges with clarity, a strategy, and a clear plan. Hey, I'm Bryan, and I want to invite you to take the first step towards transforming your business with a free 30-minute discovery call. This call is an opportunity to discuss your goals, identify key challenges, and learn how my mentorship program can help you achieve the success you're aiming for. In just a half hour, we'll explore how you can scale your business by enhancing your authority strategy, engagement strategy, and retention strategy. You'll get personalized advice and a clear path forward. Ready to take the first step? Click on the link below that's in the show notes to book your free discovery call now. I hope to talk to you soon.